Topic 9, changing the very meaning of the word God. Subtopic 8, why? Why do we need to change our understanding of God? And topic 9, changing the very meaning of the word God. Subtopic 9, so what's the big deal? Paradigm shifts. From the beginning of biblical times, we have perceived ourselves to be men, made in the image of God, viewed ourselves to be two-legged creatures with 2 arms and 2 hands, viewed ourselves as having 1 head with bilateral symmetry, viewed ourselves as having male genitalia. Women were secondary to men. But times have changed, and we, as well as most religions, are beginning to question such perceptions. We are beginning to understand the concept of our being made in the image of God, since we are questioning the fundamental concept of women being second-rate citizens, questioning the fundamental concept of women not being made in the image of God, and women thus being subject to the laws of men and subjected to being dominated by men. We are beginning to comprehend the idea that there may be other life forms elsewhere in the universe that may be capable of encompassing divine sparks, capable of being machines within which particles of the divine can travel and experience the physical universe just as humans do. These other life forms may or may not look like humans. These other life forms may or may not be able to demonstrate they were involved in the creation or influence of humankind's physical machines through the process of genetic manipulation technology, or through the process of crossbreeding with our species. If we cannot demonstrate, if we cannot comprehend a more advanced understanding of ourselves and of our true nature, then we could very well find ourselves in an identity crisis centered around just who we perceive God to be. Some of our species may conclude these extraterrestrial beings are our God, are our Creator, and then submit themselves to the will of these very beings who may or may not have our best interest at heart. It is critical that we evolve our self-perception to such a level that we are not confronted with an identity crisis capable of dividing us as a species and making us susceptible to the potential mental gymnastics of psychological manipulation by technologically advanced extraterrestrials. We must, for our own survival, begin to reevaluate just who we are and from whence we came, not in terms of our physical machines, but in terms of our ethereal selves, in terms of our true essence. There is only one means of re-embracing the concept of individuals all being made in the image of God, made in the image of the higher, be they male or female, be they high IQ or low IQ, be they one color or another color, be they of one religion or another religion, be they strong or weak, be they whatever, and that is to change the very meaning of the word God. The most simplistic change in the meaning of the word God lies not in a physical perceptual change in the meaning of the word God, but rather in a change much broader, lies not in a change in the meaning of the word God, which underscores the validity of one religion over another, lies not in a change in the meaning of the word God in terms of retaining the epistemological operative function of the word God as a noun. The simple change of replacing the noun function with a verb function, that is, change the perception that God knows to that of God is knowing, accomplishes exactly that, what it is we are attempting to do. In short, we can change the meaning of the word God from that of God having knowing, God being a noun, to that of God is knowing, God being a verb. This small change leads to the understanding that our physical machine, man's physical machine, woman's physical machine, is simply that, a machine, and leads to the understanding that the true essence of the individual is the I, or the soul, or the ethereal spark found within. The true essence of the individual is spiritual in nature, is non-physical in nature, is incorporeal, corporal, as opposed to being corporal in nature. The significance is that God is not an entity of size, an entity of quantity, an entity of matter, an entity of space, an entity of time, an entity of the physical universe, an entity of reality one. Now God is understood to be an existence of the incorporeal, of world two, of reality two, of a subset of existence expansive enough to include the whole of the universe itself. Thus, the paradigm shift regarding 1. What God is. God is the summation of all knowing. 2. What we as individuals are. Individuals are limited, discrete entities of knowing. 3. How it is God can grow in knowledge yet not change. God is knowing, not knowledge. The amount of knowledge may grow, but the sum of knowing remains what it is, namely the sum of knowing, not the sum of knowledge. 4. What made in the image of God means. God is knowing, albeit the sum of knowing, and we likewise are knowing, albeit a limited quantity of knowing. 5. What kind of respect individuals are due. Individuals are due the respect we extend to God. 6. Why we have an obligation to respect the environment. The environment is a place where entities of knowing, God particles, divine sparks, travel, experience, and as such, the environment is due the respect we would relegate to the very house of God. And so it goes. Proof beyond all doubt and proof beyond all reasonable doubt are entirely two different concepts. The proof beyond all reasonable doubt is recorded for those so inclined to investigate such proof. They can be found on the website www.panentheism.com or www.panentheismaddressing.com. We are ready to move on to topic 8, Solomon's Seal, which is found hidden in plain sight in the diagram of everything living. We have but to expand our understanding of the diagram of everything living, which we will do in topic 8. But before we go, I would like to put out one more thought for you. We, you and I, are indeed significant. We, you and I, our single piece of knowing, may be no more than the equivalent of a single grain of sand upon the beach. no more than equivalent to a single star in the sky with a myriad number of stars, no more than the equivalent of a single molecule of water in the great expanse of the sea. But without your or my small piece of knowing, without our small piece of unique experiencing, and without the unique knowledge known to each of us from our personal experiences, God knows a little less, and thus is no longer all-knowing, and thus is no longer omniscience. In short, God would be less than God without you and I. And if that is not significant, then what is?